Hey everybody, how are you going? I hope everyone's having a great day. I hope your days are filled with light and joy and love and all the good things. Alright, so today I want to talk a little bit about something that I don't really talk about much, because for a lot of people it's a sensitive topic, and yeah, a lot of people really just don't understand. So this is what I'm going to try and do in this video, is break this perception and talk about my own experiences. So in particular, I want to talk about plant medicines, particularly psychedelic plant medicines such as ayahuasca, DMT, magic mushrooms, all these wonderful things that have this amazing ability to open your heart, connect you with the universe, and just increase the quality of your life tenfold. So like when I was younger, I used to see these things as drugs, and a lot of people still have this perception that these are just drugs, that they just work on the chemistry of your brain, and they just sort of mess everything up a little bit to make you trip out. I used to think that as well, like when I first started getting into psychedelics and using them. Well, I did use them recreationally at the start because I was curious, I just wanted to know more. Then I started having some like massive insights and realizations, and actually very transformative experiences while using these and meditating on them. So that's when I started to realize that these are a lot more than we typically take them for. Like a lot of people, as I just said, think they're drugs, but there's actually a whole new like level to them. So I think drugs are a bit of a stigma because these are medicines. These are sacred plant medicines that are used around every culture in the world for thousands and thousands of years, and they've got so many connections to spirituality and religions and different things in again, like every corner of the world. So it's not just one place, it's not just one ideology, it's not just one like cultural stigma. So when I started using these and like having these transformative sort of like things happen to me, I went from being like very depressed and anxious and awkward and lonely and like all these negative things, my life sucked, to really just like livening up everything and filling me with this like rejuvenating energy, with this new zest for life, with this new purpose, and pretty much just like every issue sort of just melted away in my life through using these medicines to actually change how my mind works and change how I perceive everything and sort of what reality means to me personally. So, my first major experience was with LSD. I had a complete full-blown Kundalini awakening, so I felt my chakras light up. I just blasted off into the cosmos full of love, and like I wasn't present at that state. Like I died and I just went into the heavens and came back with all this knowledge and inspiration. After that, I never saw depression again. I never really like got anxious again or things like that. And it just like completely gave me this new understanding of life. And that's when all my limiting beliefs sort of just washed away. And I decided to travel the world and do cool things and have a good dating life and sort of just be the person that I wanted to be. The second most profound experience I had was actually just smoking weed. So when I was living in Vietnam, yeah, I was like doing this thing where I was smoking weed, then just meditating on it. And I had this one experience where everything just opened up. I saw all these like spirits and entities come in, and they just like took me away to this other place and showed me all these things. So I completely left my body, and I was with all these like orbs and like bumping into all these like different energies and stuff around me. Yeah, most of them were benevolent, and like I just had this intuitively good feeling that this is a positive thing. But yeah, I came back from that same thing. I just felt like super refreshed, and like I was feeling fucking fantastic and great for quite a while, at least a week. Just had this like glow on me, and I'm just like, okay, I just feel refreshed after like going out into this healing space, this dimension, or this other plane, or whatever you want to call it, some place that is not within our physical reality that we can't perceive, but these medicines can actually like build the bridge, build the gateway to connect us with that sort of place. So with these two experiences, plus like a lot more, I had a lot more experiences through like ayahuasca and doing ceremonies with shamans in Ecuador, Peru, Mexico, and like I've gone pretty deep into this stuff. So like I'm really starting to understand just how powerful these medicines are, how they can be used, and just how transformative they are in general. Um, so yeah, like I've had a lot of experiences. I've seen a lot of entities. I've seen a lot of just different things. Had a lot of like amazing insights that have changed my life. Um, and yeah, so like I started building up this mentality that like I'm never going to use these things for recreation. Like when I do this, there are a lot of energies out there. It does energetically just open you up and expose you to a whole dimension of weird and strange and wacky things. So like I have learned to be super careful with them because like you can have bad experiences, you can have attachments, you can have demonic attachments and shit like that. Like these things are real. Okay, you're not just tripping out. Like every shaman will say that they are real. Every person who's like really deep into spirituality and has gone into this place, whether it's through meditation or yoga or breath work or like however whatever their roots are to access this plane of information, everyone will say the same thing. These spirits exist, they are real, and like in a way it can even be verified. You can be with a shaman and you'll be seeing like this person or something right in front of you, and they will see the same thing as well, and they'll tell you to relax because it's a positive spirit or it's this type of spirit doing whatever reason. So it's definitely like opened my mind to this whole new thing that's like, okay, these plant medicines are, well, like they're very sacred, spiritual, powerful medicines. Like these are actually the real deal. You're not just tripping balls, or maybe you are when you start off, but until you start like learning actually how to work with that space and that environment, um, they are actually so much more than we usually give them credit for. So, in saying that, I started doing ceremonies. So every time I take these medicines, I would do a ceremony. So I'd clear the air, clear the energy. I'd put out my intentions, put out like what I'm trying to do, bring myself to a high vibrational state before I take it. So it's like I'm gonna have a good experience. So about a week ago, I broke up with my partner, and I was feeling pretty like gutted about that. I was in this bad state, like I could barely get out of bed. It was just like everything sucked, life sucked, and it's like just the wrong moment for it to happen in my own path, in my development, or at least I thought it was. Um, so I was trying to get rid of this pain, right? And the night after that happened, there's this like plant medicine ceremony happening in Austin that I went to, and it was this like heart opening event. So these were non-psychedelic plant medicines, and like they did do some work. So I did feel the energies and stuff coming through me, and I did feel like this energy coming out of my heart or like sort of reopening. Um, but and I did feel a little bit lighter as well afterwards, but I still had this heavy energy on me. Like I had this baggage on my shoulders, and I'm like, okay, it didn't do what I wanted to do. Like in hindsight, like pain's not a bad thing. Like you should just sit with those emotions and process it. But I don't know, for some reason I didn't want to. I'm like, no, like I've used these enough. I know the healing power and potential. I just want to, skip this pain, and like now I know how to. I know how to use these in a way that I can just get rid of pain like that. I can get rid of suffering. I can just change anything about my reality that I want to change. So I decided to do a little DMT ceremony. So same thing, set my intentions, and I was feeling shitty. I'm like, okay, like I'm praying. I hope this is going to go well because I'm in a really like not good state right now in my life. And of course, when you're in a low vibrational state and you go into these dimensions, that's when like you can get really fucked up because you attract different entities and different spirits and stuff that don't have positive intentions and aren't there to help you, even though there's so many that are. But like it depends on your vibration and the energy you're giving out as well. That's sort of your magnet. That's what you attract. So with that in mind, like again, did the smudging and like the whole ceremonial stuff to just try and like create the space for the medicine. So I did it and went into this like room. Like it came on super like clear, just straight from the start. Very heavy, very clear. And that's when I know like, okay, the medicine's cooperating with me. Because sometimes like if I just feel impulsive and stuff, I get this weird feeling. I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm disrespecting the medicine and I shouldn't be doing it. But being an impulsive person, I do it anyway, often. And either it doesn't work at all, so nothing happens whatsoever. Like even if I take a big dose, nothing happens, or I just have this really like not good unclear bad experience. Sometimes I see like entities and stuff, and they just like dismiss me. They're just like, yeah, like you shouldn't be here right now. And I come back, and I always feel shitty after that happens. So I made sure I did everything right with this because I didn't want that to happen, especially being in this really vulnerable state. Um, yeah. Anyway, so I smoked it, right, and I went like into this room as I often do and see like this like sculpture thing, like this big like squiggly like eye thing that sort of like I'm swiveling around. Um, and then like I started going through all the memories of the relationship and everything that went wrong and what I did wrong and how it could have been salvaged, and sort of just got all this ultimate insight into it. And that's where I felt like, okay, now I sort of like it still felt very shitty going through that because I'm like even though I'm pretty far out there, I'm still connected to my, like I wasn't completely out there. I was still connected to my body, so I knew I was laying on my bed and like still had the thoughts and stuff. I'm like, fuck, this just happened. This is my reality. Like this can't be changed. And it's like you go into this vulnerable state where like everything, like all your energetic connections just spring out. So I was like going through that, and like I'm like, okay, fuck, like I've just got to sit with this. I just need to process this, and like I was going through all these memories and everything. Then suddenly there's this opening, and there's this man standing right in front of me, like right in front of me. Like you could see everything, his whole outline. He was quite short. He had sort of largish hands. He had dark skin, and he was holding this sort of like you know the thing that you play a violin with, that sort of thing. I don't know the word for it, like a wand or something. So he's holding something that looked like that, but is like very like as larger, as old, as sort of like rustic looking. And he's sort of like next to me, and he like looked at me and put his hand on me. Sorry, I just a bit of background noise. So he put like not on me, but like right next to me, and like started shaking this thing. And at that point, my body started convulsing. Like I couldn't control it. I was just like going everywhere. And like I had this feeling that this was a good thing, that like this was a benevolent guy that is there to help me. So like I knew I was in good hands, but like this was intense. I just felt so much like shit just coming out, like all these energies, and just like I just vibrating, like spasming, and like I couldn't control it. Like what is happening? Like who is this guy? What's he doing to me? And like when that ended, pretty much I went straight to sleep because I was just like overwhelmed by like having that experience. So I woke up the next day and I just felt great, like absolutely great, like I was on MDMA or something like that. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, I just broke up 2 days ago. I was in the shits, and now I feel like no single pain, no suffering, nothing like that. I just feel like completely fixed, perfect. And I'm like, okay, like something definitely happened here, because you don't go from that state of mind to just feeling like blissful without something happening to you, without actually going through that long road of processing it. Like this was some sort of shortcut. So I was thinking about that, and I was just like, I just felt alive. I just felt great. I just felt so optimistic about everything, and things started clicking. So this business idea just like came to me straight away, just like instantly. And I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do, because it's something I was sort of stuck on for a little while. Like I wanted to create up my own business, but I was really stuck on the niche, and sort of yeah, like I had this block there, and I had this like power block as well coming from like this chakra, like my solar plexus chakra. You can't really see it on the screen, but yeah, and I also had like some blocks in my throat, so I couldn't really use my authentic voice, and like I felt like something was pushing down on me. It felt like something was repressing me for a long time, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. So yeah, like it felt like I didn't have any of that. I didn't have this pain in my chest anymore. Suddenly, like I could speak using like my real voice again, like I'm using now, just like a good pitch, good tonality. I'm not like stumbling over my words as which started happening more and more and more, because like it's getting harder to communicate and express myself and all that. And I'm just like, okay, like this feels like too good to be true. Like, should I be sad right now? Like I feel like I should be sad, but at the same time, like I just feel so happy. I just feel so grateful for everything, for every person. And suddenly, like, people start messaging me and stuff. Like, I didn't tell anyone about this. And people are messaging me, and I'm just like, and like, just weird shit was like manifesting into my life right away. I'm like, okay, in order to create something where I can actually manifest other things, like, they must have removed some heavy shit inside of me. So yeah, like I went for a walk and stuff, and I was just feeling like blissful, just great, and sort of like yeah, I messaged a friend about it. She's a medium. She can tune into these energies and like fill out different things that are happening to people. And yeah, pretty much she told me that it was my spirit guide. Like, because that's an idea. Like at first, I thought it was like I was connecting to a voodoo energy because it's sort of just like the feeling I got that someone was actually doing voodoo on me, but like positive voodoo. So most voodoo is good. It's like any spiritual craft can be used for bad as well. Like you do have dark shamans, you do have people who use like voodoo and stuff for negative reasons to try and tear people down or do whatever. But the sole intention of these crafts or these like pathways is to do good, is to heal, is to help people. So I felt like someone was doing like the good voodoo on me, and that's sort of what it felt like. But talking to my friend, she said, "So that was your spirit guide." Like she told me his name and stuff. She said, "Yeah, he's Native American." Like I just knew it was dark. I couldn't really see his face because there's like light coming in behind him. So you know when like you've got the shadow on the face. So like I originally thought it was like some guy from Africa. Like I thought he was like just had really dark skin. She said, um, yeah, like he's no, he's Native American. And yeah, I'm just like, okay, so that puts it into perspective. And she said, like, he removed a lot. He didn't just remove, like, the pain regarding this situation. He removed, like, an entire lifetime worth of shit that I've been carrying on my shoulders, including past life and ancestral stuff as well, which was like, okay, you know what? Like, I feel it. I feel like, I feel reborn. I feel new. And so the days started passing, and I thought I'd just like sort of come down eventually and just like start feeling sad and return to it. But it's been about a week now, and I still feel like I'm on MDMA. Like, I just feel so good about life. I feel so optimistic. All these things are happening in my life now, which are super cool. And just every day I'm so grateful. I'm just filled with joy. I'm just, every person I see, like, I'm super talkative and stuff now because like I did have these communication blocks and this power block, so I had like started getting more and more of these like self worthiness issues and things like that. But now like I'm going to like every person just on the streets and like hitting them up and talking to them, and like everyone receives it super well because like I'm just radiating this good energy. And like even the day after, right? So the day after this happened, I went to work and I was just like I was just feeling good. I was just having a good time, and like people like, dude, you're glowing. You're just like you are actually glowing, and like yeah. So it's definitely something visible that's from the outside that's happened. It's definitely internal. Like I feel fucking like transformed. I feel fucking great. Like I do see the world with new eyes right now, and it's tripping me out. Like so I'm just spending like every day just thanking the universe, thanking God, thanking my spirit guides, thanking just everything that's out there, and I just feel so thankful. Like there's so much gratitude, just so much love, and it's just such a nice positive feeling. Um, so yeah, like pretty much, I'm still feeling great. I haven't come down. I still have this crazy high. And you would think if it was just something in your brain, so like you might be thinking, okay, maybe you did just trip balls. I don't really believe in this stuff, but you just trip balls. Maybe it did do something on your brain, and now you're feeling good. But in saying that, if that was the case, and it was just a massive like dopamine rush or rush of serotonin or oxytocin or something like that, uh, it needs to replenish. Like you'll get that burst, but then you'll have a come down because your brain needs to replenish those chemicals. But I'm still just riding this high like day after day after day, which just feels great. Like I'm just like I just have this new zest and everything. So it can't be dopamine. It can't be the chemicals in my head. It feels like something different, like spiritual energy. Um, but yeah, like otherwise, like my mind and everything that's happening in my body is in perfect health right now. Like everything's just like perfect. Like I can't even express myself. I can't explain how powerful these fucking medicines are and what they can do to transform your life. But if you're saying like if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh yeah, like I'm going through some shit right now, I could use these medicines. Um, I would caution you against it. Like in saying that, I have done quite a lot of work with like shamans and different things where we've gotten really deep into it, and I have got a lot of experience and insight with these medicines. So be careful if you do plan on using these for the purpose of healing, because like again, I want to stress that you do energetically open yourself up. You are vulnerable, and you need to know how to protect yourself in that state. You need to know how to call in your guides and like surround yourself with light and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much I just wanted to share that story with you. Another profound and spectacular experience with plant medicines. And it sort of seems like the more, like when I do ceremonies and the more seriously I take this craft, I just realize how much healing there is in it, and it heals me more every time, and I connect more to this other dimensional state and my higher dimensional self, and sort of like I'm getting pretty deep into this shit to the point that like I can be mourning, I can be in the worst pain, and then I can use that and poof, it's gone. So it's like it's interesting. It's definitely interesting, and I will be going back to Ecuador hopefully like near the start of next year or maybe like mid next year, because I do have a volunteering position lined up with a shaman that I worked with. I did some ceremonies with back in 2016, and yeah, pretty much they open the gates. I'll be volunteering with them and actually like working with them to try and understand these medicines more and learn how to actually like channel energies and use it to not just heal myself but to heal other people. And I'm really excited to start doing ceremonies where I can bring other people in and they can experience the magic as well. They can see these spirits, they can connect to these other dimensions and go through this divine healing, and I can sort of guide them through that process. So this is a transition in my life and this is happening. But again, I just want to say like how serious and how powerful and profound these medicines can be. So never think of like a psychedelic as a drug. Like these are a whole new fucking thing. These are gateways. You are taking a gateway which does open up this three-dimensional reality and liaises or brings your soul back to like that dimension, whatever you want to call it. Well, like every religion, every spiritual belief has a different name for that place, but that place is real. So whether you want to call it ultimate reality or like ultimate reality, the spiritual realm, the astral planes, like I'm sure that probably heaven is probably what the same thing that they're referring to in Christianity, I'd assume, or like bliss or nirvana or like whatever in different religions. Like this place does exist, and there are many different ways to get there. There are many different ways to actually travel into this dimension. Like a lot of people are like gone really deep into spirituality, have their own ways. Like just say a very like trained and spiritual monk might be able to get there just by meditating. And like they do say that meditation can release DMT in your brain. So like put two and two together, maybe. But like people can, there's so many people that have accessed this state of just divine healing and divineness, just divine everything. Like it's just beyond words, like how beautiful and how sacred and how crazy this place is, especially when you see it with your own eyes and you're like, okay, like this is not my brain, this is not something, I'm not hallucinating here. Like I've got a spirit with its fucking hand on me and I feel someone hugging me behind it. Like this is real shit. But yeah, like if you've watched this video to this point, I thank you for your curiosity, and I'm really glad that you're also like interested and curious about this, because as a collective we do need to change our perception of these medicines. They should never be called drugs. Like these things need to be respected. They are powerful tools, and not everyone should do them as well. Like people should know, if they want to get into that, they should learn and know how to actually use these properly, so they do have good interdimensional experiences and it doesn't fuck them up energetically or emotionally or whatever, because they do have that potential as well, depending on how you use them and sort of how you navigate that psychedelic space. So thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, just filled with love and gratitude and all the good things. And I love you. I love all of you who are watching right now, because you're all amazing people. We're all human beings just trying to get through this journey together, trying to figure out different things and just communicating different ideas and whatever it is, to one another. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And yeah, like, have a great day.